The following program contains coarse language. Viewer discretion is advised.
I've been talking a whole lot about Kelly Marie Bryant, that nasty, despicable story that was out there about the mother who abandoned her kids for 5 years. Well, this is not, well, maybe this might be a case of people who abandon their kids. It's kind of hard to know. This story is unique. I think this type of situation with people in storage rooms is starting to happen more often than maybe a lot of us even know. It's very strange. It's unique. At the same time, it's disgusting. And I think these people need a lot of prison time because I just refuse to believe that you can be this dense. Okay, so let me give you guys a disclaimer and then we'll get into the details about what they did. Let's go.
Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, new website articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer.
One of my favorite sources for news. This is coming from Law and Crime. Thank you for the article. So a husband and wife, bookmark that in your mind, a husband and wife have been arrested after they allegedly left their 6 children, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6. Remember, we're talking about accountability, okay? I don't care what they're going through. They made a choice to have 6 children. There can be no purpose of having that many kids if you continue to keep bringing them in this world and you can't afford to take care of them, and you end up in a situation like this. I think that makes you a special level of stupid. And this ain't even a thing about black, white, Mexican, Chinese, just a human thing. A human being would have to know that this has got to be effing stupid. This is a stupid idea, stupid thing to do. And you're going to find out that they actually had more options. And here's the thing. It said, thank you for my honesty. I appreciate that. I'm just trying to keep it real. You can't call this anything but what it is. These people go above and beyond stupid. Okay? And you're about to find out. They allegedly left their 6 children, 4 of whom are under the age of 6 years old, locked in a storage unit with only a bucket to use as a restroom, which you guys saw it right there. Don't look inside the bucket. Just saying. These damn idiots, their names are Charles Dupriest, who's 33 years old, and Isaiah, C as in Charlie, Zelinsky, 26 years old. That's the female's name on the left-hand side of my screen right there. Were taken into custody earlier this week and charged with 6 counts each of child neglect, and that's according to Law and Crime. They obtained the court records. Dupriest, the dude, was also charged with 1 count of being a felon in possession of a firearm. Wow. A felon in possession of a firearm. I'm not saying that felons don't deserve a second chance and felons don't deserve to have families. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is it's funny how time flies when you're having fun. That's not what I meant. Look, it's funny the fact that when these situations happen, you can look at this situation and say, that wasn't a smart choice. I know they love these thugs, thugs being a characteristic trait, not a skin color. They love these thugs. And these thugs love to continue to keep breaking the rules. And you think that's a suitable parent to have kids by, right? You can't fix stupid. Stupid is as stupid thugs. Ain't that right, Lieutenant Dan? A felon in possession of a firearm. Now, according to a criminal complaint, officers with the Milwaukee Police Department at about 1:33 a.m. on Tuesday responded to a report of a child crying inside a locked storage room. Let me say that again. A locked storage room. So what they did was they put a padlock on the storage room, locked these kids in there. So you know what that sounds like to me? Because I think there was actually somebody trying to claim that they were inside a vehicle and they were nearby. Here's the thing. If you have them locked up and they have no electricity in there, they have no running water, they have no air conditioning, they have no heat, they have nothing except a completely dark storage room all day, every day. What would stop them from driving off and doing whatever they're doing or whatever it is that they want to go do? When you got these human beings who are locked in a room that's literally padlocked. So do I believe that they probably drove off and left them kids there on numerous occasions? Yes, I do. I really do. They pulled up and they were told about a child crying inside of a locked storage room at the store safe in the 5500 block of North 27th Street. The caller told the dispatcher that they were concerned for the welfare of the baby. Upon arriving at the facility, first responders said that they could hear a child still crying inside the storage room, which is Unit B58, which had a garage-style door secured with a padlock. So they locked them in there. Fire department personnel cut the padlock off of the door just to gain entry. Inside, they observed a bucket that contained urine in the middle of the room and 6 children ranging in ages from 2 months old to 9 years old. And I'm just curious, if they had no light in there, how did they know to aim and get everything in the bucket? You had no lights. You couldn't see nothing. Maybe that's just my mind. Detectives later learned that the only visible, and this is why I say that, the only visible light that was available to the children came through a crack of the garage door. A detective entered the unit and observed 6 children sleeping. 5-year-old Ed told the detective, "We're not supposed to be loud." Shortly afterwards, Ed urinated in an orange bucket in the center of the unit. Wow. These children's ages, and I want to brace y'all for this: 9 years old, 7 years old, 5 years old, 3 years old, 2 years old, and 2 months old. If you ask me, not only with this crazy situation, especially, it's hard to say not any of them. Really, all the ages matter. 2 years old, 3 years old, 5 years old, they don't know nothing about taking care of themselves, feeding themselves, cooking, or nothing like that. 2 months old, they wanted these children to die. Police said that they woke the 9-year-old up, who was able to provide the names of his parents, telling the detective that he was responsible for caring for his 5 younger siblings when the adults were away. The 9-year-old reported that he stays at the storage unit about 50% of the time and that they use a bucket to urinate and defecate in. The 9-year-old stated that he is supposed to give the 2-month-old a bottle or a pacifier and pick her up when she cries. The 9-year-old told the detective he was hungry and had no device to contact his parents or anyone else in an emergency. Police say that the smell, the stench from the inside was so putrid they could not remain inside even with the garage door open. That's how bad it smelled in there. An employee at the facility allegedly told investigators that he remembered in May hearing a male voice inside the unit saying, "Sit down and be quiet," and saw surveillance footage of the children being dropped off at the unit by their parents, which he reported to management. What? Let me read this again. Because that person probably needs to be fired. That's just a whole emergency situation. Thank you. An employee noticed that something was wrong, heard something, saw something, and barely said anything. An employee at the facility allegedly told investigators that he remembered in May hearing a male voice. So depending on when if this was this month, May, June, July, August, September, 4 months ago, there should never be a situation where any human being should be inside of a storage room. That alone should have told you, like, 911. I called my management. I told my boss. What? Like, are these people that damn stupid? He heard a male voice say, "Sit down and be quiet." If you ask me, in my humble opinion, that employee should be arrested. Any level of common sense would have told you to call 911, right or wrong. That was 4 months ago. What am I missing? He reported it to management. Like, that, man, you just can't have people that damn stupid in this world. Now, authorities at 2:11 a.m. located Dupriest and Zelensky, the mom and dad, sleeping in a Ford Expedition parked in a lot along with their dog. They said parked in the lot. Oh, in the lot with their dog. Officers noted that the middle row of the vehicle was completely unoccupied, while all of the children, including their infant, were all in the storage room. Dupriest and Zelensky said that the family was homeless, but admitted the children could have been staying with other family members. In the forensic interview, the 5-year-old girl victim said she felt sad when locked in the storage unit and mad, so she made the unit dirty. She said she tried to open the door but could. She said she tried to open the door and could not. She reported using a bucket to urinate and defecate in, and sometimes placed a bag inside. She said she was so upset the dog got to sleep in the car while she and her siblings slept in the unit. I want y'all to remember, those are the words of a 5-year-old baby. Those are the words of a 5-year-old baby and a 5-year-old little girl. LD stated her parents went to bed while the children were still awake. She said her father carried a firearm, pointing to her hip. The 9-year-old said his father disciplines them with whoopings, and that after one such whooping, he thought he should go to the hospital. So that's how bad he beat him. Zelensky and Dupriest are currently being held in the Milwaukee County Jail. Their bonds, and y'all are going to laugh at this. How much do y'all think their bonds are? How much of a bond do y'all think they got? I don't think they should have got a bond at all. Y'all want me to tell you how much of a joke Milwaukee is? What's up, American Crime and Vice Stories? What's up? How much do y'all think the bond was? Take a wild guess. So you got a YouTube channel. Salute to you. Thank you for being here. I see you. Thank you. Their bonds, $10,500 and $10,000 respectively. That's a joke. That is an absolute joke. That's how you know Milwaukee is not taking these babies' lives seriously at all. It was not immediately clear when they're scheduled to appear in court. If you ask me, whoever gave them damn bonds needs to be thrown out of the courts. They need to have their licenses revoked. That is just flat out ridiculous. Let me give you guys the fair usage and I'll show y'all a couple of news videos. Here we go. Let's go.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
And you know why I wear this shirt? Because it says, God protect our babies. You can actually buy this shirt. It is available online. All my links in there in the description box. Y'all do me a favor and please click that thumbs up because these kids need a miracle. A $10,000 bond. Doesn't sound like they're going to take this serious at all. Shout out to Law and Crime. I'm going to show a snippet of this and then we're going to go into the other news videos. Here we go. Let's get it.
This is a really tough story because you're looking at the living conditions that police say 6 children, including a 2-month-old baby, were living in, locked inside a storage unit. Their parents were found asleep inside their car outside the unit, and now they are facing serious charges. Just how much this couple was reportedly getting in Social Security benefits and what the mom had to say for herself in an emotional court hearing. We're on the case, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. It is not easy to see the images I'm about to show you. Images of a storage unit that police say 6 children, including a baby, were living in for weeks. Police were called to this storage complex around 1:30 in the morning last week, Tuesday, September 16th. Someone had heard the sound of a child crying from one of the units. Now, Milwaukee police said when they opened the door to the storage unit, they found children living in this. And the ages of those children, 9, 7, 5, 3, 2, and a baby just 2 months old. Now, police say this.
And thank you, Yvonne J. I did get your donation in Cash App, so if you're listening, thank you. Just want to shout you out. Appreciate that. Here we go.
Smell was, quote, putrid. And you can see in this picture, there's a sectional couch, a mattress, some blankets, no sheets. Police say the only light was what could creep through the gaps in the door. There was no running water, no electricity, no way to call for help if there was a problem, which just brings me back to thinking of that 2-month-old child. Now, this is the other picture that police have put out of a bucket that was in the middle of that storage unit. And that's what these 6 children were reportedly using to go to the bathroom. Police then started searching for the people who locked these children in the storage unit, a place that's meant to keep belongings safe, not a place for human beings, let alone children, to sleep. And outside, they found a Ford Expedition, and inside of it, sleeping with their dog, police say was the mom and dad to these 6 kids. 33-year-old Charles DePriest and 26-year-old Azia Zielinski. A criminal complaint reviewed by WISN TV. Frankly, it just breaks your heart with what these children have reportedly told investigators. Here's what.
And I'm going to take a pause real quick. Y'all, do me a favor. If you're looking at the screen, watching my video right now, please hit that thumbs up. Close the chat if you need to, but please hit that thumbs up. It'll bring more people in to watch us. So if y'all will help us, that'd be great, okay? So we want to try to get that number of people watching up. I know it's not a lot of people watching, but everybody can help with that. Please hit that thumbs up. Thank you.
It says the 5-year-old told police that the children were told not to be loud when they were in the unit. The 9-year-old said it was his job to take care of his 5 siblings and that he was hungry. He said that his parents drank, and when they were drunk, it was his job to look after everyone. Another child said that she was upset that the dog got to sleep in the car while she and her siblings were locked inside the unit. Prosecutors would later note how much space there was in the car where even a child could have fit in there instead of being allegedly locked in a storage unit. Not that. You can see she was very emotional in that appearance. Some strong part Now, we found in court records that in 2010, Charles was convicted of third-degree sexual assault in Milwaukee County in Wisconsin, which is north of Milwaukee. Right now, all the children are in the custody of Child Protective Services. DePriest and Zielinski, they are facing those serious charges. And here is part of what the mom's initial court appearance was like per WISN.
We have your children stating that they had no food, that the only food they found was from the garbage.
Now you can see she was very emotional in that appearance. Some strong and frankly honest words from the prosecutor. She and DePriest have said that they were homeless, that they were forced to live in these conditions because they were kicked out of a shelter in Milwaukee. But that shelter is pushing back on those claims. I'll get to that in just a moment. We did find that Zielinski was actually still very much.
So I want y'all to know that they were lying on the shelter. They said, or I'm going to not say lying on the shelter. They were basically, they're lying on the shelter. I'll say that. The shelter is actually going to push back on that, and they're going to say, no, actually, we tried to help them out and tried to get them housing. So just bookmark that for those of y'all who believe that they absolutely had to be in this position. No, they did not.
Active on social media, so she had access to a phone while being homeless. Here's a post that she put up on September 5th, marking that she was 1 month postpartum. Now, it's unclear how long DePriest and Zielinski and those children had been considered homeless. Prosecutors say this couple receives about $2,000 a month in Social Security benefits. The couple also claimed, again, that they were kicked out of a shelter in Milwaukee. But that organization told WTMJ-TV that they verified that there was permanent housing secured for this family when they left the shelter. But now they're learning that the family never actually went to that housing. So they are disputing the claim that this family was kicked out of the shelter and the claim that this family had nowhere to go. They also said that there were several families that were helping this family and their kids. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reports that DePriest is a registered sex offender and that may have created a barrier for the family to stay in certain shelters.
Jenna Ray now with more details on those deplorable living conditions, despite the family having resources and options from local shelters.
Shocking, and heartbreaking.
The reaction of many when learning 6 kids were found locked inside of a storage unit at StoreSafe on North 27th in Silver Spring. A criminal complaint details someone at StoreSafe heard a baby crying inside a locked unit Tuesday morning around 1:30 and called 911. Police say when they got there, they had to cut open a padlock to get the unit open. Inside, a shocking scene, according to a criminal complaint. A deteriorated couch, a mattress with no sheets, a bucket filled with urine, and 6 kids, ages 2 months old to 9 years old. Detectives say the children told them they'd been sleeping there for months. Their parents, Charles DePriest and Asia Zielinski, were later found sleeping nearby in their car. The kids told police they had minimal food, no water, no electricity, no lights, and had to use a bucket to go to the bathroom. When police talked to the mom, she told them they were homeless and that she struggled to secure housing for years. She says in July, she was kicked out of Joy House, a women and children's shelter in downtown Milwaukee.
They stayed with us for about 2 months in 2023. And then again in June and July for a little over a month this year.
Pat Vanderberg's the president and CEO of Milwaukee Rescue Mission and says they were never kicked out. He says before Zielinski and her kids left in July, Joy House and another organization were able to secure the family permanent housing.
Is this how you're finding out that this family was never made it to the permanent home that you guys had made?
This is how we're finding out. Our assumption in July was that we knew from mom and other sources, we knew that they had lined up permanent housing. Now we're hearing this, and again, mystery to us, how it went sideways.
You guys were providing help.
Yeah, and not only us, even with this family, we know that there are other organizations also helping the family. Some of the situations are just there's so many dynamics that enter in to people that are experiencing crisis.
The kids are now under the care of Child Protective Services. In Milwaukee, Jenna Ray, TMJ4 News.
On to more breaking news at this hour. A very disturbing situation unfolding along Milwaukee's northwest side. Police rescued 6 children, including an infant, from a locked storage unit overnight. That unit just off of 27th and Silver Spring. 12 News' Hannah Hilliard breaks down what we know at this hour.
In the middle of the night, our camera spotting police near 27th and Silver Spring for a report of children locked in a self-storage facility. The urgent call for help coming in just after 1:30 a.m.
Police are on scene requesting a forced entry. They believe baby is locked in one of the storage lockers.
But it wasn't just one baby.
Update from the police. They believe there's 2 children locked inside the locker.
Or 2 inside the locked storage unit. Instead, Milwaukee police say they found 6 children, ages 9, 7, 5, 3, 2, and a 2-month-old. All of them alone.
I came here around 10, maybe before 11, just to check my unit.
Donnie Earl did not want to be on camera Tuesday, but says he didn't notice anything out of the ordinary when he checked on his belongings Monday night, but is disturbed by this discovery.
Confused. I don't even know how to respond to it. Why would anyone keep, did you say 6 kids in a storage unit? To me, it sounds a cry for help, maybe. Or maybe just needed help.
Police say they have 2 adults in custody, a man and a woman. A police arrest log shows the 2 were arrested early Tuesday morning at the storage facility. Police will not confirm the adults' relationship to the children.
Hannah Hilliard is joining us live tonight. Hannah, very disturbing details here. What is the storage facility owner saying in response to this?
So, Deanna, I've tried calling, emailing, as well as walking into store safe to try and connect with a supervisor here at the location at 27th and Silver Spring, but my answers, they've gone unanswered. All those messages I've left, as well as we've only seen maintenance workers here on site. So right now it remains unclear exactly how police were tipped off to the situation in one of these storage units. Police say when they arrived here on scene early this morning, none of the children were injured at the time, and right now tonight they are in custody of Child Protective Services.
All right, Hannah, we're still waiting to see that relationship from that man and woman who are in custody. Hannah Hilliard, live in Milwaukee tonight.
Breaking news as we come on the air here at 11 o'clock. 6 children rescued from a locked storage unit on the city's north side overnight. Police and fire rushed to the store safe of Silver Springs near 27th and Silver Spring after a welfare call. That's where Zoe Henry joins us from right now. Zoe, 2 adults have been arrested.
Yeah, Jaron, that's right. And police are still on scene this morning. We actually saw a forensics truck pull in here and through the gate back this way. It's actually locked. That's why we're on the outside here. But they tell 12 News they're investigating this as a possible child abuse or neglect. Officers were initially called here to store safe at 27th and Silver Spring around 1:30 this morning for a welfare check.
Police are on scene requesting a forced entry. They believe a baby is locked in one of the storage lockers.
Inside that locked unit, police say they found 6 children ranging from 2 months old to 9 years old, and no adults were with them at the time. A 26-year-old and 33-year-old are now in custody. The district attorney's office is reviewing charges. You know, what's your reaction?
Confused. I don't even know how to respond to it. Why would anyone keep, did you say 6 kids in a storage unit? To me, it sounds a cry for help, maybe. Or maybe just needed help and didn't know how to get it. They should be arrested. I would arrest them if I was the police.
Zoe, do we know the condition of those 6 children?
Milwaukee police say that none of the kids were hurt or are hurt at this time. We're still working to learn how the children and the 2 adults are connected and how all this happened in the first place.
All right, 12 News' Zoe Henry live for us this morning in Milwaukee. Zoe, thank you.
Jenna Ray now with more details on those deplorable living conditions, despite the family having resources and options from local shelters.
Shocking, and heartbreaking.
The reaction of many when learning 6 kids were found locked inside of a storage unit at StoreSafe on North 27th and Silver Spring. A criminal complaint details someone at StoreSafe heard a baby crying inside a locked unit Tuesday morning around 1:30 and called 911. Police say when they got there, they had to cut open a padlock to get the unit open. Inside, a shocking scene, according to a criminal complaint. A deteriorated couch, a mattress with no sheets, a bucket filled with urine, and 6 kids, ages 2 months old to 9 years old. Detectives say the children told them they'd been sleeping there for months. Their parents, Charles Dupriest and Asia Zielinski, were later found sleeping nearby in their car. The kids told police they had minimal food, no water, no electricity, no lights, and had to use a bucket to go to the bathroom. When police talked to the mom, she told them they were homeless and that she struggled to secure housing for years. She says in July, she was kicked out of Joy House, a women and children's shelter in downtown Milwaukee.
They stayed with us for about 2 months in 2023, and then again in June and July for a little over a month this year.
Pat Vanderberg's the president and CEO of Milwaukee Rescue Mission and says they were never kicked out. He says before Zelensky and her kids left in July, Joy House and another organization were able to secure the family permanent housing.
Is this how you're finding out that this family was never made it to the permanent home that you guys had made?
This is how we're finding out. Our assumption in July was that we knew from mom and other sources, we knew that they had lined up permanent housing. Now we're hearing this, and again, mystery to us. How.
Want y'all to catch that. They had them lined up for permanent housing. Now, I've actually watched people in real life that have mishandled the permanent housing that people have tried to help them with. So I've seen that happen. People do it. People are that level of stupid. But when folks are trying to help you out and then you screw up, like they say, what, fumble the bag? You fumble the bag, is that how they say it? You fumbled the help. You bit the hand that fed you. They were helping y'all, and you still found a way to screw it up.
How it went sideways.
You guys were providing help.
Yeah, and not only us, even with this family, we know that there are other organizations also helping the family. Some of the situations are just there's so many dynamics that enter in to people that are experiencing crisis.
The kids are now under the care of Child Protective Services.
So somebody asked, were the parents on site? It's hard to say because it seemed like they didn't give a direct answer about that. They said they were in a lot, quote unquote, a lot, L-O-T. And so that's how they found them. They were in a lot. So I don't know if they were in the same lot or somewhere nearby or caught them somewhere else. They really didn't specify. But again, for a situation like this, and it doesn't seem like they're taking it real serious, especially with the bail situation, people like this should not be parents. You can't fix this level of stupid. This level of God, I want to say it so bad, but I feel like my channel's going to get demonetized. These people are slow as hell, and you cannot continue to keep having slow people make babies. I said it. So if you want to get mad at me, then it is what it is. But I don't feel sorry for these people. I feel sorry for the babies. That's all I'm saying. So, yes, they actually said that it was their responsibility. The kids say, the 9-year-old said it was my responsibility to take care of his younger siblings because his parents decided to go get drunk and they locked them in the storage room. So they was like, okay, well, I got to take care of y'all. I wonder how much taking care of somebody you can do in the pitch dark. It's just the whole thing is weird. And I just think people like this, not only they should never, ever get an opportunity to see these kids again or be parents, I think that they should probably get about 20 to 25 years in prison. That's the only thing that would help. It's just more time away from society. And by the time they get out, maybe they'll be feeble enough. Maybe they shouldn't have reproductive organs. Hashtag TTO and TTT. They should not have ovaries and they should not have testicles. These are the type of people that should be chemically castrated. So in some states, that's a law. Maybe we need to start bringing that to situations like this. These people should not have reproductive organs. Okay, but thank you guys so much for listening to this story. We'll bring you an update probably whenever we do the final sentencing, and then we'll go from there. Okay, thank you.